Volunteers are talking to high schoolers around Chicago in the hopes of keeping them out of credit trouble. Eddie Aruza tells us about the bankruptcy lawyers who are working to avoid seeing future clients. A growing number of college graduates are filing for bankruptcy soon after they get their diplomas. That's because so many of them rely too heavily on credit cards to get them through college. Bankruptcy experts say financial literacy should be taught in high schools to get students ready to handle their own money down the road. Eddie Aruza tells us about one organization that's trying to do that.
We want you to understand that credit is a good thing, but it also has consequences.
Ira Bodenstein and Michael Eidelman know a little something about credit and its pitfalls. That's because they're both bankruptcy attorneys. But when they're not seeing clients who can't pay their bills, they're visiting high schools all around the Chicago area.
You're about to start college, you're going to leave home, you're going to start getting pre-approved cards. And we're here because we're concerned about what happens at the back end.
The attorneys are part of a volunteer organization called C.A.R.E, which stands for Credit Abuse Resistance Education. It's a group of about 60 Chicago area professionals that also includes bankruptcy judges and trustees. Their objective is to avoid seeing the teenagers they talk to as clients someday.
What we're trying to do as part of the C.A.R.E program is to get incoming college students smarter so that when you're in college and when you graduate college, you're not going to have the same problem that college students had 5, 10, 15 years ago. Makes a big difference. We don't want to see you professionally. It's not fun to file bankruptcy.
There's a reason why the C.A.R.E program targets college-bound high school seniors. They're a demographic that credit card companies practically drool over.
It is very, very easy
They're a
and to get them by appealing to them, whether it's for internet purchases, whether it's for clothes or for food. Starbucks, McDonald's, I mean, everywhere now is taking credit cards, unlike when we were young. And by giving these kids credit cards, it's amazing to see how quickly the balance spikes up, and the resultant fact is their inability to pay that balance.
To drive home their point, the C.A.R.E volunteers showcase some of the rich and famous who've filed for bankruptcy, including actress Kim Basinger, boxer Mike Tyson, and newsman Larry King, who elicited this surprised response from students at Niles North High School.
Larry no, not Larry King. Larry King.
Don't think of bankruptcy as somebody that just broke, okay? It's somebody that doesn't have a job. There are people who make lots of money in their job, but they spend more money than they bring in.
But unlike rich celebrities, some students could end up bankrupt even before they start a career.
I've seen it myself as a United States trustee. Graduates from college with $10,000 in credit card debt on top of all their student loans. They can't handle that financial burden, and we're here to try to get you to understand that there's consequences to using credit.
The C.A.R.E program was started by Rochester, New York bankruptcy judge John Ninfo after he saw an inordinate number of college grads turning up in his courtroom. The program has now spread to 47 states.
Among the many courses offered here at Niles North High School is one on consumer education. But many of the high schools that C.A.R.E volunteers visit have no classes that prepare students for the dangers and responsibilities of credit cards.
Students aren't told not to use credit cards, but rather to use them responsibly. And the C.A.R.E volunteers offer advice on how to do so. Tip number 1, don't use plastic for small purchases.
We think that if you can eat it or drink it or it costs less than $20, don't charge it. Because what we've seen is at the end of 4 years, you have the $7,000 taco.
Tip number 2, don't pay off one credit card with another one.
We see people filing bankruptcy petitions. They don't have 2 cards. They don't have 7 cards. They have 20 cards. They have 25 cards. They've used one Visa to pay off the balance on another Visa.
If nothing else, the students walk away with at least a cautionary warning of the big price those little cards carry.
I didn't know like bankruptcy would make you lose so much money, which kind of scared me in getting a credit card now. So I don't know if I want to get one.
If you don't pay off your interest, how it goes up from like 4.9% to like 24%, like that was pretty scary. Seeing like a $2,000 TV could end up being like $4,000 after like 7 years. So that's kind of scary, and like the fact that you could lose your house and that kind of stuff.
Generally speaking, the kids are very responsive. They're interested in learning what goes on. Part of our job is to get through the disbelief that it's not going to happen to them. Either they're because they're 18 or 17 and bad things like bankruptcy doesn't happen to them, or perhaps because of the neighborhood they live in.
If the CARE volunteers are completely successful, they may be looking for other work in the near future. But as they point out, the sad reality is that they'll never have a shortage of business. For Chicago Tonight, I'm Eddie Aruza.
And there's more about the CARE program on our website, WTTW.com.